All right, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us live, or if you're watching this back as a recording on our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for staying involved and staying connected with us. As we still have a lot going on here in Arkansas FFA. I do want to quickly remind you that something I added something kind of new this month. There have been several ag teachers who have asked us to add a PDF version to where they can download and they can print that newsletter. Uh, that has been made available. I've went ahead and sent that to you. However, there is a disclaimer. I tried to put it on that email as well. Just since I've listed that, I've had a correction on two different dates. One from ABATA and then one was just a mix up. I put April instead of March. So I will say that make sure to use the link. Check over the link to make sure that nothing has changed because the PDF does not update. The PDF does not update, but the link does. So everything is correct as we stand right now on the link, but the PDF does have two wrong dates on it already. So just as a resource, that's the only thing that we can do for that right now. So we're going to go ahead and get kicked off as we provided that disclaimer really quick, and we will get started with uh, state staff state staff updates, and we'll hand it over to our executive secretary, Mr. Benz. Oh, Mr. Benz, we can't hear you yet.
You'd think eventually I'd learn to, hit the unmute button. Um,
Yes.
like, welcome everybody. Hope you are getting ready for spring break. If you're not already on spring break, take a little bit of time off. Now we've gotten through district CDEs, everybody's favorite time of the year. And now as we get ready to go towards our state contest and of course then on the state convention. So obviously we had, like normal, still just a busy time of the year. It just continues to add stuff to our schedule, but it's always exciting to see what our chapter's up to and have y'all come to camps like that. So obviously the last few weeks we had National FFA Week. I think since we last met, then we've moved on to the Farmers Day at the Capitol, which was huge success. And hated that we got our Capitol Day snowed out, but that's just part of Arkansas weather. Very fortunate this year, the officers got to go to Denver to the Commodity Classic. We sent three out there and actually had that all funded from an outside organization. I think as we kind of went through it, not knowing, but I think it's the second largest expo and ag related event. So the officers come away with a huge wealth of knowledge and wealth of contacts, things like that. And then, of course, like we talked about, we've done our district CDEs. I think everybody survived. I don't think we have had too many harsh words as we kind of move through that. And then we come back and did our green hand this last weekend and a pre-service teacher. And then we also had a new teacher workshop. So the camp last week was extremely busy, but it was great having everybody out and wrapping up those events. So as we kind of move forward into the spring, and as we kind of already start thinking about wrapping up a school year and getting new officer teams and banquets and convention and new state officers, it's an exciting time of the year, but it's also stressful. So Ag Science Fair, we did push those back till 3 o'clock today. We had a lot of chapters calling due to the wind and fires, having power outages, internet outages, including our office. They actually sent us home one day because power went out the building. We did extend that deadline for that. And then summer interns are due. So if you have any kids that are you think would be really good for an internship that are in college and getting ready to graduate or ag ed, please send them our way. We've been very fortunate. I'm not sure Mr. Merrick hadn't checked today. We're probably closing on about 15 applicants this year, so which is really exciting that interest is there for those. And then World Food Prize, you see the date there. That's coming up real short, right after spring break. State CD, same way. This year spring break is a week later, so it gives us a little less time as far as when we get back from that before those contests happen. And then the state forestry date is April 11th. And then our next one is Camp Couchdale Cleanup Day. That's on the registration system on Arkansas FFA. So that day we've really made this big strive and push that Camp Couchdale belongs to the members, and we want to make sure the members are bought in that this is their home. So we've set up a day for a work day, one to help Miss Patty and get camp ready for the summer, get camp ready for state convention. Things that you can bring, and we'll send out more information on email, rake, shovels, gloves. If you have a pressure washer, but we could really use a big day for that to help get camp ready. We still utilize our prison workforce and stuff like that that come out and help rake leaves. They're out here 2 days a week and do a phenomenal job. But like I said, having the kids here working on the facilities and maintaining it, I think that makes a lasting impression on them. And it lets them get together with their friends from other chapters, especially if they're going to be seniors, maybe one last time to come out to camp and do good. We will be providing certificates for community service on those days too. Next, rolled into state convention. We had our big announcements this week, so teachers can stop calling me daily and asking who the concert is. I feel like we're very fortunate and we're able to book a really good concert, even though it's not my thing. I don't listen to country music, but I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from Mr. Wyatt Flores. And the great thing is he's a past FFA member out of Oklahoma and truly is excited about coming to perform for our students. He went to Oklahoma last year, his home state, and then he's playing Texas also. But with that too, so I've just been asked. So obviously, we do not sell tickets. We're not allowed to sell tickets to the concert. It's not in our contract. But if you wanted to bring a busload of kids down on that Tuesday and they pay the registration fee for the day, they are allowed to attend the conference and stuff like that. Just know though, if they do attend the expo or they do attend a session, they need to be in official dress. And that's something this year, as we continue to invite guests and legislators and administrators, please make sure your kids are in a proper official dress, and they are in official dress in the arena and as they walk around. That blue jacket still stands out among everybody. So we'll make sure we're showing it and wearing it. Keynotes we're really excited about. We have Sam Dima's done a couple CTSOs, did a really good job at the HOSA conference in the last few weeks. I think he did FCCLA last year. He's got a really good message. You can see he carries around a 4-foot backpack. So if everybody can get some money together and we can raise enough money, I think we can probably shove Mr. Backus in there as a fundraiser to be brought out on stage in the backpack. And then we also got Mr. Bill Cords, which has been one of our impact presenters. And I've heard a couple of his keynotes to other organizations. He does a phenomenal job. And the great thing is he understands FFA. He does a lot of leadership camps around the country for FFA. So we're really excited to have that. And this will be his first keynote in Arkansas, as far as convention goes. Then we got shirts. Key is giving away the free one again this year, which I think Mr. Merrick posted on y'all's. So the one in the middle is the free teacher one as you sign up. And then shirt number 1 is going to be the one that's kind of the teal purple color. And then the shirt to the far side that's light blue is going to be shirt 2. And I believe, Mr. Merrick, that has every county listed on the back with a blank line so they can get kids to sign it from around the state, kind of have that interaction. And kind of a cool thing, National FFA, National Convention, big deal about getting kids to sign your program back in the day. So we kind of doing this with a shirt, and we'll see how that goes. But those can be ordered when they have when you register and so on. And then Taylor will probably have a few with T-Bar J, the sale, and so on. And of course, the free teacher one, you'll sign up for that, then you'll go by the Key booth and they will give you that shirt. So, and then more information. Tentative master schedule went out. I'm working on the finalized one that'll be available as soon as we get off spring break. So we start filming week here on Sunday at Camp Couchdale. And during that week, we'll, like I said, fully adjust the final schedule and get it out to teachers. And then we'll also, next week, we'll be selecting our courtesy corps kids and getting those out. And then we will also be selecting talent. And we have a quite large application on both those. So we'll get all those out as soon as we get back so you can start notifying your kids. We do our best on courtesy corps, just to be honest, to try to at least get 2 or 3 kids per chapter. Sometimes we select more than that, but we really do stress and really work to try to get every chapter that signs up to be involved. So we've had a few emails, take my kid off the list or they're not coming. So if you know that now, go ahead and kind of send those emails to us. So when we go through the selection process, we kind of have the ones that we know are going to be there instead of having to go back. But we will pick alternates just in case. So you'll be, like I said, looking for lots of information coming out. Also new to convention. So on scale this year, obviously we have the auctioneer contest. That's going to be in Horner Hall on Monday. We're going to have 500, 600 chairs set up in there. So you're welcome to come see that and participate in it. They will be auctioning items off. So strongly encourage y'all if you've got kids that might be interested or if they didn't make the state event, bring those to that and give them something to do. And then we'll have our standard workshops going on. And then new this year, so last year we passed the delegate cap of 500 delegates. So we are going to have a delegate experience. That will start at, I believe, 1 o'clock, 12:30, 1 o'clock in Horner Hall, where we'll have all the delegates come in and check in. And then there'll be some programming for just them and hopefully some special prizes that we're working on and just make it a bigger deal to be a delegate in our state. And as we have this first year, obviously there will be some trial and error, but we want to, like I say, continue to move forward to build that event, to make it a bigger impact for our state association. You will be getting an email this afternoon. We do have 3 delegate proposals that will be put before the delegates this year to vote on. I'll get that out so you can start looking at it. And then we'll do like we did last year. We will schedule a town hall meeting for advisors to be able to jump on and kind of go through that. There's nothing really, anything that's really, really major. It's just some house cleaning stuff and changing of some of our committees and what those look like. As we move forward, as we continue to grow, we were excited to learn, we crossed over the 18,000 member mark this year. So thank you all for getting those kids signed up for FFA and everything you do. From there, obviously, state LDs is at convention. And then we have Arkansas Leadership Conference. We're already back around the summer and starting to plan what that looks like. And then, of course, you have your ag teacher in-service dates down there as well. So, and then if anybody has questions about state convention, feel free to stick around and ask at the end, or if you want to ask right now, but we can, like I said, we can try to get through our newsletter for the ones that need to go move on back to class. But like I said, if you've got a question, we will be on here for a few minutes.
Just as a quick, we're going to go back really briefly to the state CDE contest. This is the information that was sent out and also on the state CDE, on the CDE page on our website. This is all the information. I know that Mr. E is looking, he's going to be looking for bus drivers to take students to different contests. But all of this information, make sure that you read over it. Here are your dates. So on Thursday, you'll have horse, vet science, electricity, nursery, food science, milk quality, agcom, and floriculture. Okay. On Friday, you'll have wildlife, but that's going to be at the Hunt Family Ozark Highlands Nature Center. Okay, you'll have poultry, food science day 2. It's super important. So the top 8 teams from day 1 will come back for the product development. As you know, if you've ever had a team for that, that's a very long day to have it all in one. So that's been separated into 2 days. Ag technology and mechanical systems, so ag mech, uh, farm business, land, livestock, meats, agronomy, turf grass, and dairy cattle. So that's kind of the lineup. We are not doing staggered times this year. So all 12 o'clock on Thursday, all 9 o'clock on Friday. So if you have any questions, we can, at the very bottom of here, anything that's kind of logistics wise, Dr. Estep can answer your questions about locations and all that sort of stuff. But any other like scoring questions, appeals, anything that revolves around us, those are the emails for if you have any questions for Mr. E, Mr. Benz, and myself. So we'll take state CDE questions here towards the end of this call, but just wanted to kind of briefly go over that. Forestry, as Mr. Benza said, is on the 11th, and forestry will have its own registration system. So y'all will have for state CDEs on the 3rd and 4th. You can go to the Arkansas FFA website, log into your account, and then that's where you're going to put your 4 students in for each individual contest. This morning there was a I forgot to unsubmit everybody that had registered for state only. So you couldn't register about if you try to do that before 8:15 this morning. But I got that fixed. And so you should be able to go in. We're going to go all the way up until April 3rd. That's Thursday at noon. That's going to be the deadline. And then if you have any last minute changes, maybe a student gets sick between that Thursday afternoon and Friday morning, we'll have the substitution form available for you as you find the district. But all the information has been sent to you in an email, and then State Forestry will have a very similar process, but it will be on its own. Okay, we're gonna kind of go move on to the next portion, and then we will come back. We'll come back and answer any questions that you have from that. Key dates, it's already been mentioned over here on the left-hand side, but they're also, if you're just looking for dates, they're down the center of the column. One of the dates that I missed is on the intern application. That said April before, and I was corrected on that. So that is March. That deadline is today. So that may be different than on your PDF than it will be on the live link. All right, we're going to turn it over to our executive director, Miss Taylor Wiseman, for foundation updates.
Hey, everybody. First off, thank you for an incredible Give FFA Day. And that one day alone, we had 67 donors, so several ag teachers, a few current FFA members, lots of alumni and parents that stepped up. We raised over $40,000 on that one day. And also, we had some corporate donors come in, so Farmers Bank and Trust, Arkansas Farm Bureau, Farm Credit, also made significant donations. So if you happen to see any of them, just tell them thank you for their continued support of Arkansas FFA. And then coming up at state convention, we are going to be recognizing 11 individuals who've been inducted into the Legendary Owl Hall of Fame. And so that list is on the website. Would encourage you, as you look through that, see if any of those have ties to your local chapter, and would encourage you to honor them like at a chapter banquet, or have a plaque hanging to recognize them locally too. And then for those chapters that were involved in the fundraising of those, there'll be an email going out with more of the details. But that's not to be exclusive. If you know those folks and want to celebrate them, please just reach out to me. Reach out to the chapters that they taught at, and we'll make sure that we can honor them at state convention this year. So that's all that I have for my end, but I'll be on if anyone has any questions later.
All right, thank you, Miss Wiseman. As we move on to AVATA updates, we do have Rodney Weedor on here as the mentor teacher for new teachers. And then we also have President Sammy Cox on here as well. So we're going to hand it over. Let's go. Is Mr. Weedor still on here?
Yes, I am.
There you go. Mr. Weedor, would you like to talk about your new teacher winter symposium?
Yes. Before I do though, welcome, Taylor. Sure am glad to have you back in here and kind of, I don't know, welcome home.
Thank you.
Hey, the new teacher winter symposium really wasn't a winter symposium. We had to move it because of snow or whatever, and I guess it ended up being more like an early spring symposium. But had eight new teachers there. We did combine some of the speakers, some of the activities with the teacher interns that were also there. Had some really good presentations, really good roundtable discussions. A lot of them left there, I think, feeling better equipped to continue through this first year. Got a lot of positive feedback. I think it's kind of like our kids. You get what you get out of it, what you want to get out. So some of them were very involved and asked lots of questions and had lots of needs. But it went quite well. Would like to remind all the teachers out there, and maybe we get another email out, but I think they posted the application for a scholarship for the intern teachers. Make sure y'all kind of tell everybody if they have one to get that filled out. AVATA does holds a couple of fundraisers for that every year. So try to get those filled out. And we're just about ready to kind of start downhill and finish out this year. That's about all I got. If Sammy's got anything else.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Weedor. Mr. Cox, do you have anything?
I'm just going to mention that you do have it changed on the live. That was my fault. I give you the date the other day when the national application was due, but we talked about trying to get them all in, give you a couple of days during spring break. So I've got several in. We'll get them all to the committee so they can start looking at them.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Cox. So those are, yes, sir.
I would like to add on that Region 2 conference in Corpus Christi. I encourage everyone to go down there. That's a really, really beautiful place. And the agriculture down there is not what I thought it would be after kind of going down there and touring some stuff. So it's really, really cool. It'd be a great experience. Could be a working family vacation for several of you. So it could be really, really nice there. Anyway, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Weedor. I remember Texas FFA convention was held in Corpus Christi whenever I was a member, and it was a really cool environment for members. It was a cool environment for family. It's a cool place to be. All right, so that was for the NAA Region 2 conference. NAA awards for Arkansas applications. This is where your PDF, if you're using that PDF, that date has changed since then. So that's March 26th. That's Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. So make sure to get those in. It did say May 15th, but that was the national deadline. So make sure that all of those are in fact submitted. Make sure that AVATA right now is in the process of trying to revamp the day at the Capitol, not necessarily rescheduling the entire event there at the Capitol, but trying to find a way to get legislators involved and trying to do some kind of workshop or kind of invitation for them. So be on the lookout for that from AVATA. Mr. Weedor is currently, and AVATA is currently planning on Teach Ag college program meetings, going to each college and kind of doing some meetings on behalf of AVATA. So that kind of wraps up our professional organization. For alumni and supporters, I don't see Mr. Krangle on here, but he is kind of looking out for any of the leadership. We put this back on the newsletter. So they are going to be looking for some leadership. If you know of anyone or maybe yourself is interested, reach out to Mr. Krangle and he will gladly get you some information on what that looks like. So the Arkansas Farm Bureau updates. This we will probably utilize this final date, and then we may take it off there eventually. But this is a really cool summit. The deadline ended this month. If you want to make sure that you did register and you did try to do that, I would reach out to Matt Jackson there at Farm Bureau. Make sure that all of your stuff came through. So that's for the Arkansas Farm Bureau Ag Youth Leadership Summit. As we change to the next page, really quickly on the National FFA updates, we try to keep those grants available for you, ready for all of those links. The summer alumni and supporters trip is going to be in Costa Rica. So that deadline, I believe, is also this month. So make sure to get those that if you're interested in registering for that conference. National FFA Foundation is seeking for students to that have made SAE items, specifically, if they use that for their supervised agricultural experience. As we go on to the next portion for National FFA updates, National FFA has branded and Canva resources. So there's a Canva kit that if you would like to utilize that, maybe you want to tell your story better for your chapter within your community. Maybe you want to utilize social media better. However you want to do that, check out that social media kit through Canva. As we press on for the American Star Awards judge recruitment, that's definitely a mouthful, but a really cool opportunity that if you're interested in any American Star Awards, and especially to be a judge, to see the behind the scenes of what's it take to have an American Star finalist, then there's going to be an expectation document. It's here. You can read all about what are the expectations of being a judge. What do you need to do? What are the time commitments? All of that sort of stuff is going to be on that expectations document. If you're interested in that, you're going to talk to Brett Evans, the SAE-based awards and degrees program specialist. His email is there. And then April 18th is that deadline to submit if you're interested in that. There was a parliamentary procedure LDE resource webinar that happened a little while back that has been recorded and uploaded. So if you are interested in going back and seeing that as a resource, go ahead and check that out. National FFA organization awards and competitive events AI policy. So artificial intelligence. They recently came out with a brand new standard for operating with AI. Make sure to check over that. Make sure you're in compliance, especially if you send anything or compete at that next level. So that is for artificial intelligence document and standard practicing procedures. Down at the bottom, you'll see that National FFA has recently came out with a career exploration and planning substitute teaching guide. Once again, that's a big mouthful, but they they came out with a really cool 5-day and a 3-day planning materials guide that if you have substitute, maybe convention, maybe that's state CDEs, maybe you want to plan that for next year. There is a complete guide just for a substitute teacher to come in and use that exploration. There's vocabulary sheets and choice boards and all sorts of stuff inside that teaching guide. How to use that, you can use that as a substitute teacher for your sub plans, and you also can use that if you just want to do more career exploration. Resource link is there at the bottom. As we transition to our final, the home stretch of the newsletter, the wise owl advice, I believe Mr. E is driving, but Mr. E, are you able to talk?
I'll get. I've been in and out of decent service just outside of Birmingham, so I won't say anything about any Alabama sports teams. So thank you, Mr. Merrick, and everybody who's been able to hop on and contribute. Just a couple things I'm going to try to get out quick. First of all, just be on the lookout. Pathway revisions are going to happen this summer at the Linn County Career Tech Center during our summer conference. It'll be that Thursday, Friday. Just know that we've been given the stipulation that we can only have the number of teachers on that committee as we have business and industry partners. So if we have 5 teachers, we have to have 5 business and industry partners. So some of those areas, if we're not able to get enough business and industry partners, it might limit the amount of teachers we're able to get on some of those committees. So, but just be on the lookout for state staff to reach out to you to possibly serve in that capacity. And, really appreciate your knowledge and expertise and really help work with our industry partners and how we can best provide the educational side. And so we can equip our students with the skills that are needed for that industry. Kind of equipment the same way. Had a CT coordinator retreat last couple of days. They brought in all the pathway advisors, sat down with CT coordinators. They just discussed some of the equipment lists, the good, bad, the ugly. And so if there's something that you feel very passionate about that needs to be on it, doesn't need to be on it, please let state staff know your opinion. And so we can take that into consideration as well. I want to backtrack just a little bit to the National FFA side of things. Received an email from Scott Stump, and you all might have seen where President Trump has filed a bill to dismantle the Department of Education. So how does it affect us? Well, on the national level, we do have some areas, some board positions that are tied to the Department of Ed. Used to the national advisor was an employee of the Department of Education. A few years back, they moved away from that, actually amending the not the cost amended the charter to kind of move away from that. So Travis Park is not work for the Department of Education. Dr. Park works for University of North Carolina. Or NC State, yeah, that's what it is, NC State. Go Wolfpack. We do have a board position that is Department of Ed. But on the state side of things, a lot of people are worried about Perkins funding. Perkins funding is not tied to the Department of Education. Perkins funding is its own legislative entity. So what will most likely happen if the Department of Education dissolved is the accountability for that will just be moved into a different department, like let's say Treasury or something. So anyhow, we'll kind of see where that goes. As more information comes out, we'll try to keep you updated. But you shouldn't worry that if the Department of Ed goes away, we won't have any more Perkins funds, because that's I guess really directly how it can be felt at our state level. So, and with that, I'll be quiet so we can get to questions.
All right, thank you, Mr. E. A few more things on the wise owl advice. Make sure that convention is next month, believe it or not, as Mr. Benz has said in the state staff update. So make sure that you have hotels booked and permission forms are completed. You're getting that money collected if you're charging students. Administration, your admin is notified, and make sure to invite them as well. We would love for them to attend convention. Outstanding balances, that will affect your convention registration if it hasn't already affected you. And then summer conferences as well. So make sure that your account will be blocked if you haven't paid your bills. And that includes your membership now that those invoices have been sent out. Continue planning your end of the year banquet. If you want to suggest or if you want to reserve a state officer, you can put in that application, complete the form right here at least 2 weeks out. So if you know a banquet date, go ahead and complete that. And then start gaining some interest of those who want to show livestock. So we'll have more on that next month. But more key dates are down here. that it's going to be a busy part of the spring and kind of leading right into the summer. It's hard to believe it's already here. So we will now open it up for any questions regarding the first or the second half of our newsletter. If you have any questions that are pertinent to everyone, or I guess you can pertinent just you as well, we can answer those questions. So we'll open it up.
I have a question. At district, we got text notifications when contests were ending. Are we going to get that at state also, so we know when to loop back around and look for kids?
Yes, ma'am, that is the plan. So we plan to do an advisor alerts, and you'll sign up through that. So yes, great question. Thank you. All right, any other questions? All right, we'll take about 10 more seconds. If no one jumps on for a question, then we're going to stop the recording and we'll hang out for a little bit longer. So about 10 more seconds. All right, those of you who are watching this back, thank you for watching it. And we just reach out to state staff if you have any questions. We're going to stop the recording now.